This is terrible advice. Am I just giving you a how-to on how to be kidnapped in a foreign country? Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I am back in Charleston, which is very exciting. So this video is gonna be really good because I feel this video is gonna be really good. You should listen to me. No, but I feel like my favorite thing to do on my channel is speak about experiences. I can talk about travel tips and all these other things, but when it really comes down to it, like what I really love talking about is my experiences being young and being confused in new places and all of the emotions that come along with that, because it is really sometimes quite a lot. Today we're gonna be talking about moving to a new city by yourself and sort of things that I do or have done in the past 3 years to make myself kind of feel okay when I move to a new city, because if no one's ever told you that before, it's a little tough. It's a little, just a teeny bit. Your girl has gone through it in the past 4 years, 5 years, 4 years. Even this year, where I moved back to Charleston, I did have one friend still, but I was absolutely terrified, and I did film some of it and I never posted that online. So why not embarrass myself further and talk about how scared I was? I have talked about this before, but moving to a new place by yourself, that first week is probably the hardest and the most exciting, because everything is new and you just start to question everything. Like moving to a new place by yourself, that really gives you an existential crisis. And you know what? I understand why people just like stay put now, because it's a lot. But what I have realized, this is my #1 tip when you move to a new place, is that 50% of your problems can be fixed with a good night's sleep and eating a sandwich. It doesn't have to be a sandwich. I just feel like that really just conveys like the spiritual and physical hunger that you have when you move to a new place. Eating a nice sandwich and having a nap, or going to sleep for like 14 hours if you move abroad, really, it will fix so many of your problems, because it will. That first week that I moved to Edinburgh, I did not see another human being for about 2 days, which was so fun, because in those 2 days I was like walking around just trying to have a nice time. I also embarrassed myself a couple of times by just like going up to random people and being like, hey, I'm Katie. Want to be friends? And like, they were not into it. But however, there were some people who were into it. And by like day 3, I had met some people who were open to like being friends. And that was cool, because that fear of knowing absolutely no one and being like, oh, this is gonna continue for the rest of my time here. It won't. But you really start to think that way, especially if you move somewhere by yourself. #2, get settled. I think having a checklist is such a good way to mitigate anxiety, because you feel a lot of that when you move to a new place. But getting yourself settled and set up and feel like you're home, even though you are not, it's a new place, is a really great way to calm yourself down. So that first week, I spent a lot of time figuring out how to get around, figuring out where my classes were, figuring out where the like nearest grocery store was, figuring out which grocery store that I liked that was nearby. Going back to that first one, finding a place that has good takeout, you know, finding a place that can make a pretty good sandwich. My first day in Edinburgh, I went and I got like a wrap from this place, and I just like sat in this window by myself. And let me tell you, that was an exciting sandwich I ate. It was very exciting because it was like, oh, new city sandwich. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like people watching, and you're just completely free. You're just like, oh my God. But then also with the freedom, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna meet another human being that likes me ever. But like only for like a little bit, and that does go away, but that's definitely something that's in the back of your head. Or maybe you're normal, that's fine too. But so after you get settled, my #3 tip is going to be do things that you normally wouldn't do. You are moving to a new place. That is a big thing for you to do. You are obviously looking for some sort of shakeup in your life. And I think that it's really easy once you get to a new place to sort of like fall into old habits and try to like cling to like whatever you had before that was making you, which is a good thing, and that's gonna come later for sure. That's my next thing. But I think that it's really important to embrace change in all its forms. And if someone invites you to go do something, just say yes. Don't even think about it. If someone's like, hey, you wanna come with us? And you're just like on the street and you have nothing to do, go with them. Unless you think that that will lead to you being kidnapped. That is not what I mean. But if they seem like trustworthy people, you should follow them. This is terrible advice. Am I just giving you a how-to on how to be kidnapped in a foreign country? I think maybe don't do that with like people that you like seem legit. Number 4 is going to be, going back to that first point, is do things that you would normally do. So after you've gotten in this habit of saying yes to new things and trying to talk to new people and doing things that you normally wouldn't do, I think that it is important, you know, within the first month to remember the things that really make you you, that you really love about your life that you had previously to moving in that new place. Like for me, for example, I am not really somebody who's like super big into going out. And so that first couple weeks, I was going out much more than I usually would, just trying to talk to new people. And like after a while, I was like, this is like kind of fun. And I had met some nice people and I had met some really nice friends, but this is also like not super my scene. And I had given it a try and I had met some great people. So I was like, okay, I would like to maybe transition to, okay, I've made these great friends. Let's go to dinner, or let's do something a little bit more chill. Let's, you know, watch a movie. I think that that is a really great way to sort of like bring your old life into your new life. And I'm not saying like stop saying yes to things. I do have a whole another video about that, and I'll link it up here, about the power of saying yes and how that like kind of changed my life last year. However, saying yes to other people, but then also saying yes to yourself and saying like, this part of me that really doesn't love, you know, clubbing or whatever, that's okay. And this new life that I'm living can fit and merge together. And then number 5 is going to be try to compartmentalize. I would say around the 3-month mark is when I usually have like the biggest crisis. I would say, because I feel like it's right around 3 months where, especially if you're moving abroad or you're moving to a new city, having a year abroad, but then also moving to a new city is a little bit different, because moving abroad, you're like doing a lot of fun things. And I feel like college is sort of like that as well. You know, you hit month 3 and things really start to get real. Like you have friends, but you also have responsibilities. And when those responsibilities kick up, it can be sort of like a moment where you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough to like solidify my life here. I'm so bogged down with work or whatever, you know, school or whatever you're doing. And you can be like, well, this isn't fun anymore. This isn't new or exciting. Like I'm just kind of back in habits. And then also it's like right around that time where you're like, I don't have the perfect friend group set up, or I don't have the relationships that I would like to have at this point. What's wrong with me? After a month, you give yourself some slack, but after 3 months, it's kind of like, well, shouldn't I have this all figured out? No, you should not have it all figured out. It should take probably years to get it all figured out. And that is sort of the challenge of going abroad or moving to a new place. Talking about study abroad specifically, it's really hard to feel settled in a place after only being there for a few months. I feel like I was just sort of getting my legs when I was about to leave Edinburgh. It takes a little bit of time, and that's completely okay. Recognizing those thoughts and writing them down, that's what I did. And honestly, there's like literal pages in my journal where I wrote down exactly what I was feeling right around this 3-month mark, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't think this is for me. Then I wrote it down, I got it out of my system, I just kind of kept going and doing things, and then my life sort of changed and morphed into something else after that point, and I ended up loving it so much. Compartmentalizing those feelings is going to be really important for you to move forward, especially if you're in a situation where you've made commitments to a certain place. And then my last tip is, so this fall, my like dad's work had like this like weird insurance that provided you like with a life coach. So I decided to try it out. And within 10 minutes of meeting this life coach, she was like, you need to have more fun. You need to have more fun. It has been my mantra this fall. Lisa really she slapped me with that knowledge so quickly on. First of all, it's okay to not know what you're doing with your life. And B, if you're not including fun in your life, you absolutely should. I am gonna start like a new segment on my channel because it's like just become like a funny thing between me and my roommates and my family. Literally all fall, I've been like, Lisa says to have fun. You need to have fun in your life if you're starting over somewhere new, or if you're starting a new job. You know, there's all these expectations to perform and do really well, and for a really long time I did not allow myself to have fun while also pursuing my goals. It's changed my life in such a dramatic way, incorporating having fun with people and doing things without thoughts. because I'm an overthinker. I'm a chronic overthinker, but I also love to explore new places. I always have that sort of struggle, like moving to a new place where I want everything to be perfect and I have a lot of anxiety. I tend to forget that having fun is a really big part of that. That is what I'm gonna leave you with today. And to give you an example, this is what I did to have fun today. I just rediscovered Sheryl Crow's song, Soak Up the Sun. And I was dancing that and eating a kale salad about 20 minutes ago. And I have to go to class soon. So this is what I'm talking about. Your girl is busy. Your girl has a lot of things going on at the moment. But I did take some time to dance around and put in my eyebrow gel dancing to Sheryl Crow. And that's what you gotta do. So I hope you guys have an excellent day. And just remember that you're not alone if you're moving to a new place. And if you are in a new place right now or you have experienced this before, let other people know in the comments down below that they are not alone, because that would be really cute. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba.